What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today we are checking out 50 insane facts about North Korea that you didn't know, which will be interesting. I don't know too much about North Korea except for the main things you would know, about. Obviously, I know that they're a communist country. I know it's not great to live there. Everyone thinks they're a nuclear threat, but life in North Korea is probably not great. Well, this will be interesting to find out 50 facts about them. This was a suggestion along with a few other videos from this channel, the infographic show. I don't know if this will get copyrighted, so I can't promise that I'll react to the other ones, but yeah, we'll try and react to them if you guys like them. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, and you can suggest me any videos and I'll try and watch them. But here we go. 50 facts you didn't know about North Korea.
You've probably already seen our first episode, 50 Insane Facts About North Korea. Did you think we were done?
I didn't see that one.
Not even remotely. This is, after all, the #1 mass producer of crazy in the world we're talking about. There's always something new and most likely insane to learn about the Hermit Kingdom. And with dear leader Kim and President Twitter fingers potentially at each other's throats again, we might as well learn as much as we can about North Korea before the nukes get us all. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Infographic Show. Today we're taking a look at 50 even more insane facts about North Korea. 50. North Korea is the world's only necrocracy, a nation that is still governed by the rules of a former leader, now dead leader. Not to be confused with necromancy. That's when you bring dead dinosaurs back to life with science to open up a theme park for children. 49. North Korea has conducted 5 nuclear tests since 2006, despite Western intelligence agencies doubting they would be able to achieve a nuclear breakthrough for another decade. 48. Their last test in 2017 was of a device thought to be 100 kilotons and collapsed the mountain under which it was tested. 47. North Korea's nuclear tests have caused fear of radiation leaks being carried by the wind to Chinese border cities and towns, which lie as close as just 60 miles from the North Korea test site. 46. Further underground tests are feared to cause a volcanic eruption at Mount Paektu, which could be devastating for the North Korean and Chinese countryside. 45. The largest stadium in the world is in Pyongyang. The Rungrado First of May Stadium occupies an area of 51 acres and can seat 114,000 people.
That's big.
Though has held as many as 150,000 in the past. It's also known as
Most stadiums back in the old days, even and in the UK, mainly for football and stuff, they used to be able to hold a lot more people because you used to be able to stand up. They used to have standing sections, but obviously I think as a part to a lot of things that happened, mainly the Hillsborough disaster, I think it's a big one. They really imposed safety regulations on the stadium so that never happens again. How many people died? Was it 96 or something like that? A lot of people died. If you don't know about the Hillsborough disaster, it was basically a game between two teams. Was it Sheffield Wednesday and Liverpool, I believe, or something like that? And they oversold the game. They sold too many tickets. People were pushing to get into the stadium, and what happened was, as a result, the stadium got too full. People were getting crushed in the stadium because of certain things. They couldn't jump onto the pitch, stuff like that. So yeah, they've changed a lot with stadiums, so they don't house that many people anymore for safety reasons, obviously.
The Mayday Stadium. 44. In the late 1990s, several North Korean generals implicated in a plot to assassinate Kim Jong-il were executed in the stadium by burning to death. 43. In 1995,
was it like a thing you could watch? Like, did they sell tickets to it, or were they just executed in the stadium? Was it like old times where you could watch executions?
Japanese New Japan Pro Wrestling and American World Championship Wrestling Leagues held the Collision in Korea pay-per-view event in the Mayday Stadium, though its official title was the Pyongyang International Sports and Culture Festival for Peace. 42. When not executing traitorous generals or hosting beefcakes fighting each other in their underwear, the Mayday Stadium is best known for the annual Arirang Festival, or as it's known in North Korea, the Grand Mass Gymnastics and Artistic Performance Arirang, because North Korea loves being extremely specific about everything. 41. Taking place annually between 2002 and 2013, with the exception of 2006. The games were cancelled in 2014, but returned in 2018 under the name The Glorious Country. Not enough adjectives if you ask us. 40. North Koreans are handpicked to be part of the Arirang as young as 5 years old, and expected to surf in this fashion until retirement age. 39.
Really?
In August 2007, the
If it's like gymnastics and stuff, you expect to do that your whole life? You know how bad gymnastics is for your body? Like, well, I doubt they care, but who's the young gymnast from US who's, I think she's like won a record amount of medals or something. I saw it the other day. Simone Biles or something. She was in the news because her brother got arrested for something, right? But I saw a thingy with her, and she said she took a break and she's considering retiring, and she's only in her early 20s because she's got a lot of problems with her body because it's insane toll that shit takes on your body. Especially you have to train it. It takes an insane amount of strength. You can also get easily injured. Like that's really gonna fuck you up if you do it too long.
Wrong mass games were recognized by Guinness World Records as the largest gymnastic display, with 100,090 gymnasts performing at once. 38. Besides not starving to death, other popular sports in North Korea include football, soccer for American viewers, basketball, speed skating, hockey, and of course gymnastics. North Korea even
had the 2014 World Cup, I think, or was it 2010 World Cup? Which World Cup were they at? 2010. I think it was South Africa. They were in a group with Ivory Coast and Brazil. I don't remember. I think that was 2010.
Has a small domestic football league that plays all its games in the Kim Jong-il Stadium. 37. June 25th is the start of North Korea's struggle against U.S. imperialism month. We bet you can't guess what the central theme is. 36. North Korean propaganda routinely features fictional scenes from the Korean War of Americans committing atrocities. The Sinchon Museum of American War Atrocities commemorates the deaths of more than 35,000 people North Korea claims Americans slaughtered at the start of the Korean War. A completely fabricated event or fake news. It's unknown if the death toll of 35,000 is greater than the U.S.'s Bowling Green massacre. 35. In 2014, Kim Jong-un described Americans as cannibals and homicides, seeking pleasure in slaughter. 34. In 2017,
can we
U.S.
listen
President...
to that again? That last fact. Americans are cannibals and homicides seeking pleasure in slaughter. Well, some people would argue there's some truth to that, to be honest. Some people would argue that. Because it's true. In some senses, people would argue it's true because they're always at war with someone. So, I mean, not to hit it. I mean, he is crazy. So, cannibals, no, they don't eat each other. I mean, I'm sure there is a few cannibals in most countries, you know, but they don't tell people about it.
Homicides, seeking pleasure in slaughter. 34. In 2017, U.S. President Trump took to the most hallowed of international diplomatic tools known as Twitter and called Kim Jong-un Little Rocket Man and alluded that he was short and fat. In response, Kim called President Trump a mentally deranged U.S. dotard on a televised broadcast. And that's how the...
I mean, he is short and fat. But Donald Trump is also fat, so how can he call someone fat? Man, Donald Trump makes me laugh, bro. He's actually so funny.
The world works now. 33. Despite this exchange of nuclear insults, Kim invited President Trump to a face-to-face meeting and removed a great deal of anti-American propaganda from their prominent displays all over Pyongyang. 32. After an initial bromance for the ages, things, however, seem to have cooled down considerably, and Kim Jong-un is widely reported to be secretly resuming his nuclear program while lying about his intentions. Foreign policy experts around the world were in shock at the revelation that a murderous dictator who maintains his grip on power through fear and violence was not being honest about his intentions. 31. A key feature of North Korean propaganda is the on-the-spot guidance, a tool meant to further the image of a caring, omniscient, and great leader offering benevolent guidance to ordinary workers and citizens. Typically, these take the form of highly choreographed visits to factories and farms around the nation and serve to further build a cult of personality built around the Kim family. 30. Every year, state-owned publishing houses release several cartoons called Giram Chake, which mostly feature scheming capitalists from the US or Japan, creating dilemmas for naive North Korean characters. 29. In 2004 and 2005, North Korea aired a television program entitled Let's Trim Our Hair in Accordance with the Socialist Lifestyle. The show featured acceptable and proper hairstyles and claimed that hair can affect human intelligence because it deprives the rest of the body of nutrients as it grows. 28. Another television program featured a hidden camera in Pyongyang, which would catch citizens with improper hairstyles. Those caught would be interviewed by the presenter and asked to explain themselves. Their name, address, and workplace would then be announced to deter others. 27. The North Korean...
That's crazy, bro. They're actually crazy, man. I have no words. You know, that whole hair thing reminds me of Nazi Germany. Like, that's what it reminds me of. I don't want to compare the two because I don't think the North Koreans have killed that many people. But, like, Hitler had very specific specifications of what he wanted. Apparently, they used to measure the size of your nose to see, and if it was above a certain size, you were considered Jewish, apparently. I don't know. I know that's a stereotype that Jews have big noses, but apparently that was an actual thing they done. They used to measure people's noses in Nazi Germany. Well, that's what they told me in history class. So if that's wrong, you know, don't call me the idiot.
Korean village of Kijongdong is situated along the Korean DMZ, and North Korea claims it houses 200 families who work collective farms in the area. However, closer inspection with telescopic devices has shown that the brightly colored buildings are empty and don't have window glass or even an interior. 26. The village, also known as Propaganda Village, is meant to entice South Korean defectors. To date, only a few dozen have tried to defect to North Korea, while many thousands have fled to South Korea. 25.
Why would you try to go to North Korea? Don't they have like a bloody massive military presence on the border anyway, so if you do cross a certain line, they just shoot you?
In 2013, 6 men and 1 woman defected to North Korea after one of them posted a series of pro-North Korean messages online, which were shared by the country's main newspaper. Thinking he would be welcome into the country, he and 6 others made the trek into the north. 24. Upon entering the country, all 7 defectors were thrown into prison for up to 45 months. One man claimed he was kept in solitary confinement the entire time, and another of the men strangled his wife and then tried to kill himself in a suicide pact. North Korean officials claimed the woman died because of a quarrel with her husband. 23. After being returned to South Korea, the survivors faced up to 10 years imprisonment for their attempt to defect to the north. 22. North Korea maintains a secret network of informants that spy on their fellow citizens and report criminal or subversive
So it is just like Nazi Germany. They've got a Gestapo too.
behavior, such as listening to non-state radio or TV broadcasts or watching foreign films. 21. North Korea's most popular tourist attraction is visiting Kim Jong-il's preserved body. 20. It is a widely known fact in North Korea that Kim Jong-un learned how to drive at the age of 3 and is a skilled composer and musician. 19. Kim Jong-il's birth was prophesied by a swallow and signaled by a double rainbow over Mount Paektu and the appearance of a new star in the sky. 18. Kim Jong-il started walking at 3 weeks old and began speaking at 8 weeks. 17. While attending Kim Il-sung University, Kim Jong-il authored 1,500 books in 3 years and composed 6 full operas. The operas are naturally wide.
1,500 books, 3 years. Do the math for that's 500 books a year. Wait, that's 500 books a year. But that's more than 1 book a day. That's more than 1 book a day. This man is close enough to writing 1.5 books, probably more a day. Amazing. Plus 6 operas. Jesus. What a legend.
Widely recognized as the greatest in the history of music, both past, present, and future. 16. Kim Jong-il also invented completely on his own a delicacy called gogigweopbang, which is described as double bread with meat. In the rest of the world, it's called a hamburger. 15. It's well documented that Kim
Let's take a moment. Where do you think hamburgers are from? Give you a hint. It's in their name.
Jong-il could control the weather with his mood, and that he had magical abilities that helped him control the weather. 14. Kim Jong-il holds the record for the best round in the history of the game of golf, having shot 38 under par, 25 shots better than the world record, and scoring 11 holes in one. 13. Imperialist capitalist psychologists around the world claim that Kim Jong-il actually suffered from the Big Six group of personality disorders, making him paranoid, antisocial, narcissistic, sadistic, schizoid, and schizotypal. It's believed Hitler, Hussein, and Stalin also suffered from these disorders.
It does sound like he is one of those guys.
12. Kim Jong-il was completely obsessed with his rice. He made female staff inspect each grain individually to ensure they had the right length, weight, and color, and insisted it only be cooked over a fire made with wood taken from trees that only grew on a particular Chinese mountain. 11. Recuperating from injuries after falling off his horse, Kim became so terrified of becoming addicted to painkillers that he forced others around him to take the same dosage he did, so he wouldn't get hooked alone. 10. In 2016, North Korea claimed to have produced a miracle drug made of rare earth elements which could cure AIDS, most cancers, and destroy the Ebola virus.
So basically it can cure
Unfortunately,
3 of the worst diseases known to mankind. Is cancer a disease? Cancer's not really a disease, but AIDS, there is no cure for AIDS. Once you get AIDS, you're pretty much dead. Not HIV, but once it turns into AIDS, you're pretty much dead. Ebola virus, which was a big problem a couple years back in West Africa, in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and cancer. Probably the biggest killer of anything, except maybe heart disease. I don't know, but still, insane.
For us, North Korean scientists declined to share details about the ingredients
or
how to manufacture the drug. 9. For years, North Korean propaganda claimed that the dear leaders didn't poop. The poopless image of the current dear leader, Kim Jong-un, was shattered, however, when
you're a little kid, when people think girls don't take shits.
It was revealed that he had a mobile toilet built into one of the vehicles of his personal convoy for when he traveled around the country. 8. Any other North Korean official found using the deer toilet would face severe punishment, to include death. 7. In 2012, the Korean Central News Agency informed the world that North Korean researchers from the Academy of Social Sciences had discovered a unicorn lair. The lair must not have been particularly difficult to spot, as it was only 200 meters away from a temple and featured a rectangular rock with the words unicorn lair written on it. 6. Just days before the unicorn story hit the international news, China's Communist Party newspaper ran a story hailing a report by The Onion, naming Kim Jong-un as the sexiest man alive, not realizing it was satire. This is really why you need a free and independent press, guys. 5. North Korea claims it has no citizens with disabilities, but defectors claim that officials kill babies with disabilities, and that men with dwarfism are castrated and forced to live in an isolated village. 4.
So they have a hobbit village? Like Lord of the Rings? Okay.
Kim Jong-il passed away. The Korean Central News Agency reported that ice formed over a holy lake cracked. Lights lit up the top of a sacred mountain, and snowstorms hit parts of the country at the moment he died. They also reported that flocks of magpies grieved in front of a statue of Kim Jong-il and his father Kim Il-sung. 3. In 2016, North Korea invented a new type of beer that wouldn't lead to hangovers despite an alcohol content of 40%. Sadly, for the frat bros around the world, North Korea to date hasn't shared the recipe with the world or given any hint that it actually exists. 2. In 2010, articles in
40%. Most beers are like fucking 5%, if that, no? I don't really drink, but I know they're not a lot. What's the highest? You can get drinks that are like 90% alcohol, no? No, like absinthe. I think that's what it's called.
North Korea claimed that Kim Jong-il had set a global fashion trend with his modest gray suits, which, quote, leave a deep impression on people's minds in the world, unquote. 1. A total of 4 U.S. soldiers defected to North Korea during or after the Korean War, the most famous of which was James Joseph Dresnok. He became a national celebrity, portraying American villages in various anti-American feature films and television shows. He died in November 2016 of a stroke and told his sons to remain loyal to Kim Jong-un and that they would destroy the U.S. if it launched an attack against North Korea. What other insane facts about North Korea have you heard of?
Well, I might not be the only one thinking this, but they just sound like a different, less successful version of the Nazi Party. In fact, they just took control of the country. Like, he does just sound like another Hitler slash Stalin with the things he does. I mean, they're deluded, of course. All those facts, man, they're all deluded. It's so funny. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, suggest videos, and I'll see you all next time.